We have important Second Amendment news out of the state of Ohio. That's right. The U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Ohio has issued a major Second Amendment ruling dealing with, ready for this, folks, illegal aliens. We need to talk about this because this is a trap. Let me hear you say it out loud. This is a trap that we in the Second Amendment community have to be very careful about falling into. Let's talk about the trap, the Second Amendment, and illegal aliens when we get back. Hey folks, I'm Mark Smith, host of the 4-Box Diner, proud American gun owner, constitutional attorney, member of the U.S. Supreme Court Bar, and author of the brand new law review article in the Georgetown Journal of Law and Public Policy entitled Dangerous But Not Unusual, Mistakes Commonly Made in Second Amendment Litigations After the Bruen Decision Was Decided. Check it out. It's free. It's associated with the Georgetown School of Law in the Georgetown Journal of Law and Public Policy. The link to the article is in the description of this video. Check it out. Download it. It's about 65 pages of critically important history, scholarship, detail, arguments on all sorts of things involving the Second Amendment. I'm sure this will be cited to many courts going forward, so you're going to want to read this to be the smartest person in the room. And big news, it turns out that I have been nominated for a 2025 Gundy's Award for a top voice, or for being one of the top voices in the Second Amendment community. So voting will begin on December 1st, and this year we're going to work really hard to see if we can beat some of our rivals out there, since we keep getting nominated and we keep losing. But this year I feel like we're going to break through, but we'll talk about that more in just a moment. All right, folks, so turning to the state of Ohio. Now, let me be very clear. I don't want to be mean to anyone. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you the way it is. It is a waste of our time to fight about illegal aliens and whether they or not they have Second Amendment rights. It is a waste of time at best. It is counterproductive at worst. Let me give you the answer. Let me give you the answer the U.S. Supreme Court will 100% agree with me on this. And let me tell you why it's a terrible idea for us to be pushing in any way, shape, or form the argument that illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights. To begin with, the way to analyze this is quite simple. As you know, under Bruen, you start with the text of the Second Amendment. To the extent the text is implicated by the conduct of the challenger, then the burden shifts to the government to show there's a historical tradition of regulation that justifies the modern-day gun control law. Under the Gun Control Act of 1968, if you're in the United States illegally, if you're in the United States unlawfully, you are not entitled to possess a firearm. That's under 922G, 18 U.S.C. 922G. Illegal aliens cannot have firearms. They cannot possess firearms. Period, full stop. Now, notwithstanding that, in this case out of Ohio, in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Ohio, a man by the name of Carlos Serrano Restrepo acquired something on the order of magnitude of 90. That's right, something like 90 guns over a period of a year, despite the fact he was here in the United States unlawfully. Now, he'd been working here, and it looks like the whole Biden administration, this is one of the guys that they'd been patting on the back and allowing to stick around and do all sorts of work and get driver's licenses, all this kind of stuff. And somehow he managed to get through an FFL 90 firearms, even though he's in the United States unlawfully. He's not here illegally, or I should say he is here illegally. He's not here legally. So anyway, he gets indicted for having all these firearms in violation of 18 U.S.C. 922G. And he asserts as a defense that he has a Second Amendment right to possess these firearms because he's part of the people. So let's go through the right answer. Again, at the textual answer, the text answers the question, because the text of the Second Amendment says the right of the people, to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The Supreme Court in Heller has defined the people to consist of all those people that are associated or part of the national community. The national community, those are obviously American citizens and maybe green card holders who are here legally. There is no way, shape, or how that this U.S. Supreme Court or any U.S. Supreme Court in the foreseeable future is going to find that illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights as a matter of text. The reason why I'm emphasizing the text, meaning that the definition of the people, according to the Supreme Court, any people that are part of the national community, will not include illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are some combination of foreign invaders or foreign trespassers. but they are not going to be viewed by the Supreme Court as part of the national community. There's no way that's going to happen. It's just not. Now, the reason why I know some people on X, my X handle is at 4boxesdiner, so feel free to check it out over there. I have almost 20,000 subscribers or followers over there, so check out at 4boxesdiner. The reason why I hate this debate over whether or not illegal aliens have firearms or have a Second Amendment right to have firearms in the United States is because this is, again, at best a waste of time, because we're never going to win this argument. This argument is never going to be won. It's just not going to be. Number two is we don't want illegal aliens in the United States. This is very bad for the Second Amendment. The last thing we want, if you're a constitutionalist, is to import millions and millions of people who have no connection to our heritage or our values or our culture into this country to start voting for Democrats who will be elected and it will in turn eviscerate our right to keep and bear arms with statutes, laws, and regulations, and will also seek to appoint anti-gun judges to the federal bench and to the U.S. Supreme Court. There's a reason why Joe Biden and Kamala Harris opened up the borders to flood our country with a bunch of illegal aliens from foreign countries with no connection to the United States, no connection to our culture or heritage. So just as a matter of policy, this is a bad idea to do anything to encourage illegal immigration and open borders in the United States, period, full stop. It's just the way it is. But beyond that, let's go back to the constitutional analysis. Again, constitutionally, as a matter of text, they're not part of the national community as defined by Heller. So textually, they have no right to keep and bear arms because they're not part of the people textually, which means that the illegal alien arguing on behalf of the Second Amendment or arguing that he has a Second Amendment right never gets past the textual analysis. You never have to shift the burden to the government, and the government never has to come forth to show a longstanding tradition of restricting firearms from illegal aliens, from foreign invaders, or from lawful trespassers here in the United States. You never get to that point. So in this case of United States versus Carlos Serrano Restrepo, the court not only said that for the sake of argument, this individual is part of the people, he then goes on and analyzes it at a historical level, trying to justify historical restrictions on gun laws. Waste of time, you don't need to go there. So this court, despite saying that, we're going to assume he's part of the people because he's a person, which is not really good like constitutional analysis, but he did that. And then he goes on to say that there's a historical tradition of restrictions of people like this, relying on a bunch of laws that really aren't applicable. Nevertheless, he got to the right result, but he did it using the historical burden as opposed to the text. Now, let me be very clear, guys and gals. Do not waste time on this illegal alien front. This is a terrible idea. Not only is it a waste of your time, because it's never going to happen. The Supreme Court is never going to say illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights. It's not going to happen. Don't waste your time on this. You're going to have fun debates and back and forth a little bit with your buddies over at the gun club or over a beer at the bar. That's fine. But beyond that, don't waste your time. Not only that, and let me be clear, if anything, it is counterproductive. It is counterproductive, in my opinion, to argue that illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights. Why? Beyond the fact it's never going to win, because the three liberals are never going to expand Second Amendment rights to anyone they don't have to. So they're never going to let illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights, the three liberals. The law and order conservatives are never going to rule in favor of illegal aliens because they're here illegally. They shouldn't be here. And the textualists are not going to rule in favor of this either because they're not part of the national community. Okay? So it's going to be 9-0, they have no Second Amendment rights. But beyond that, I want to explain to you why it's a terrible idea and actually harmful to the Second Amendment movement. As you know, the U.S. Supreme Court, if we're lucky, takes somewhere between 1 to 3 gun-related, Second Amendment-related, ATF-related cases a year. That's it. That's it. The absolute worst thing we want, folks, is at some point in the next year or two for the United States Supreme Court to grab a case involving whether or not illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights and rule against them, which they will, and suck up a slot that we in the Second Amendment community could benefit from by having the Supreme Court take a case that A, we could win, and B, that might actually help lawful American gun owners protect and restore our Second Amendment rights. Because if you get a illegal alien case to the U.S. Supreme Court and they take it, that will be one less quote-unquote assault weapon case. That will be a case not involving magazines bans. That will be a case, some other case involving waiting periods or handgun rosters or ammunition taxes or whatever. And again, we do not want the U.S. Supreme Court to grant cert in a case involving whether or not illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights, because again, we're not going to win. It's not going to help us. And if anything, it's going to suck up a critical slot that we could use for another much more productive and important Second Amendment case that really matters to American gun owners. So don't think there is anything good at all involving illegal aliens in the Second Amendment for the Second Amendment community in the United States. It is a terrible idea to be involved with this. Don't argue it. Don't debate it. It is a terrible idea. Again, to close, at best, it is a waste of time because it's never going to happen. There's never going to be a finding by the Supreme Court that illegal aliens have Second Amendment rights. It's never going to happen. And it's also bad for us because it's going to suck up slots, possibly in the U.S. Supreme Court, which we will be better off if they take a different Second Amendment case than something that will never benefit the American gun owner. Don't push it. Don't debate it. It's a waste of time. And if anyone disagrees with me, odds are there's about a 0% chance they're right. So again, you can have fun, talk about it at the bar, discuss it, brainstorm, but don't take this argument seriously. Don't push it. This is the last thing we want before the U.S. Supreme Court. No upside whatsoever for our community. Don't do it. Okay? There you have it. I'm not being mean to anyone. I'm just giving you what I think and my advice for what it's worth, but I'm telling you what the truth is on the ground. This is the way it's going to be, okay? And that's okay. American gun owners, no big deal. It's not our fight. We don't care. We got lots of other critical fights that we can win, and we should win. That's where we should be devoting our time and resources, not on this fool's errand. Don't go down this path. It's a fool's errand. Don't do it. All right, folks, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you follow me on X at 4Boxes Diner. Don't forget also to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 200,000 followers. It's taken a long time to get that many subscribers, but we're working hard and we hope to get there one day. So there you have it, and look forward to seeing you again very, very soon, I hope, here at the 4Boxes Diner.
Orders up. Table 2A.